Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, man. It's 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, this is the second of 3 videos today, Tuesday. I got 3 things I kind of want to talk about. So there's going to be 3 shorter videos. That's the idea for today. And this one is going to be about Howard Stern. Howard Stern is trending on X as of very early Tuesday morning. September 17th, 2024, Howard Stern is trending big time on X. And it's about what he said about Trump supporters and Donald Trump in general, but mostly Trump supporters, what he said. What did he say? The link will be right down below so you can see exactly what he said. But this was kind of in response to something I talked about yesterday. How Donald Trump said, this was right before the second attempt on him, that he truthed or he posted that I hate Taylor Swift. And I talked about this yesterday, how that was just a ridiculously stupid move for him. And I talked about hate. I'll get into that more in a second, using that word hate. But in response to that, in that same thought line, Howard Stern is saying that he doesn't hate Donald Trump. The link's right down below so you can get it verbatim. He doesn't hate Donald Trump, but he hates Trump supporters. He does not respect them. And if you don't like his opinion about Donald Trump, F you, listen to another channel. And to be honest with you guys, I agree with Howard Stern 100%, except for the hate thing. Let's talk about that really quick. I mentioned this, I talked about this yesterday in yesterday's video. I truly believe, I'm very careful how I use the word hate, because the way I understand hate is fear-based. If you hate something, it is because you fear something. You fear its effect on you. You fear how it's going to affect your life. You don't understand it. It scares you because because of your ignorance, really. Your ignorance of it. You don't understand it, and you're afraid it's going to have some kind of negative effect on your life. That's my understanding of the word hate. So I've always been very careful how I use the word hate, because it's a very strong word. And I think that it really says the most about the person using it. When you say you hate something, I think it really reveals a lot about you. It's a very strong word. And I think it's what it's saying is, I'm scared of this. This terrifies me. I don't understand it. I'm ignorant of this, and it terrifies me. And that's why, that's the one part of this Donald Trump, this Howard Stern thing that I don't really agree with. Now let's talk about how because I could honestly say I despise Donald Trump. I do. I cannot think of one positive thing that I could look at Donald Trump that I like about him. Something admirable. I can't. The way he came up, he got money given to him. He lost a lot of money. The way he treats women, the way he treats his kids, the way he looks at the country, everything. I can't think of one positive thing. I despise Donald Trump. Do I hate him? No, because like I said, I really feel hate. Like they say, hate is like acid. It eats away the container that you put it in. Hate eats you up. Do I despise him? Yes. Now let's move on to Trump supporters. I don't understand Trump supporters, and I am scared of them, because I don't understand how they think. Why? And the biggest thing that scares me about them is the demographic. My demographic. I'm part Native American, but I'll classify myself as Caucasian for this video. Me and Howard Stern are pretty much in the same demographic, and that is the biggest Trump supporting demographic, which really freaks me out. It makes me wonder every day why I am so adamantly against Donald Trump when the vast majority of people in my demographic are for him. And it makes me embarrassed. It does, to be in that same demographic. It makes me feel sorry for them. It does. I really see them as being scared, and I'm scared of them because of their anger and their hate. Do I respect? This is the biggest thing. I do not respect Trump supporters. In the last couple of videos, I've talked about this. I've heard Trump supporters say this numerous times. We know because we know. Like when they're talking about certain conspiracy theories. They don't need facts. No matter what kind of evidence is presented to them, no, they will not believe it. And that freaks me out. They're not rational. It's irrational and it's paranoid behavior, and that scares me. And the vast majority of people in my demographic are paranoid and irrational. That really, it makes me wonder why so many people my age, my demographic, are irrational and paranoid. I do not respect them. I don't, because of the way they don't respect other people. They claim to, it's all about America and loving America and everything. But to me, it's a lack of respect for anybody that doesn't think or look like them. And again, I think this is fear. I really do. I think Trump supporters, it's fear. Anybody that, it's very, everybody to them, everybody needs to look the same, sound the same, dress the same, because it makes them feel comfortable. Everybody fits in. Everybody falls in line. And being an artist, maybe that's what it is. Being an artist, I've always gone against the grain. I've always rocked the boat. I'm very rebellious. Maybe honestly, now that I'm talking out, maybe that is it. Because Howard Stern's like that too. I don't want to fit in. I don't want to be one of the crowd. I never have. And I think Trump supporters feel comfortable. Basically, they're beta males. They fit in. They want to fit in, and Donald Trump is their alpha. Whereas I think me and Donald Trump are more of sigma males, where we just really don't care what, we're kind of like lone wolf alphas. We don't care what anybody else is doing. We want to do our own thing. And it kind of bothers me when anybody imitates me or when I look like somebody else, because I don't want to look like anybody else. I don't want to do what other people are doing. I've always been very rebellious. Maybe that is the answer right there. Here's another thing as far as respecting Trump supporters. I will never, ever date another Trump supporter again. Audrey, my last girlfriend, who died of COVID 3 years ago, was an adamant Trump supporter. And she died because of this. She would not wear a mask. She would not get vaccinated. She listened to her cat's name was Rush, after Rush Limbaugh. Seriously. And last time I saw her, the last thing she said to me is, she's not getting vaccinated. She heard all this stuff on talk radio and she's not getting vaccinated, and she ended up catching COVID and dying from it. So I will never, ever, absolute deal breaker. I can't date somebody I don't respect. And I don't respect Trump supporters. I don't. Now, him talking about people that like Trump not listening to his radio station, I can relate to that too. As kind of like when you are selling or you're producing a product, you're in business, not selling or not working for a certain group of people. Like the couple, the cake shop that would not make cakes for gay couples. I'm on the flip side of that. I actually had a Trump supporter. This is back in 2015 when Donald Trump first came out. And I really wasn't, I wasn't sure about Donald Trump. Part of me almost felt for the bad boy thing. I wasn't sure how I felt about him. And then I saw a lot of bad stuff about him. And then I saw him make fun of a handicapped reporter and the stuff about grabbing women and stuff like that, and that set my mind. But this Trump supporter that I went to high school with, we were online, we were on Facebook talking, and he's doing, he makes good money, and he asked me to do a painting. $500 he was going to give me for it was 16 by 20, 16 inches by 20, a rather small painting. He wanted a portrait in pastels. He was very specific. Why pastels, I don't know, but he wanted a pastel painting of Donald Trump with the Trump flag behind, with the American flag behind him, Donald Trump, me, and we wanted to pay me $500 to do this painting. And not only did I say no, and I refused the $500, but I blocked him on Facebook after that, because he made a big point of complaining about that I was prejudiced against him or something like that, and I had enough of his nonsense, and I blocked him on Facebook. I don't think there's any amount of money. There's no amount of money that could get me to paint a portrait of Donald Trump, put out propaganda. for Donald Trump. There's no amount of money. I don't think I could live with myself. If somebody gave me $1 million to paint a portrait of Donald Trump, no. No. And there's another reason for that too. I'm really not that good. I'm more of a landscape painter, seascape. I'm not a portrait painter, and I'm not all that confident doing portraits, so there's a little more to that. But no, I refuse to work for a Trump supporter, and I have no respect for Trump supporters. Do I hate them? No. Do I fear them and have no understanding of, am I mystified by them? Yes. Those are my thoughts on that. The link is right down below, so you can see exactly what Howard Stern said. I'll put some links to X and what these Trump supporters. The funny thing about Trump supporters, you see, like I said, they like to be all together. They like to be in a group and all be together. And the thing I noticed on X is they'll post these questions like, how do you feel about Howard Stern saying this about us? You know, and I noticed a huge amount of Trump supporters putting these questions out there. Like they feel better when other Trump supporters, when more people agree with them, you know, and that confirms my whole thing about them being, I don't know what the word is, you know, all together in one group, looking all the same. Whereas I really classify myself as a lone wolf, as rebellious, as not somebody that jumps on the bandwagon. Links are down below. I'll be back. I'm doing a third video today about Kelly Osbourne and her accusations about what certain rehab centers do to get clients to come in or stay in there. And I'm not familiar with this, and I've been to 13 rehabs and detoxes. I'll talk about that in the next video coming up. You guys have a good Tuesday.